There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Happy Friday, everyone! Welcome to the third part of the employability series entitled New Hire Starting Pack that we're hosting for Mapua University. So today we have speakers from DXC Technology, VXI, and Sunlife. So before we start, feel free to join us for the opening prayer and national anthem. Thank you.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below.
mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Thank you for that. So, to everyone who's watching us, please be advised that recordings of this webinar will be posted in the jobsunity.com Facebook and YouTube channel. If you have questions and you're rewatching the webinar, please DM us on Facebook and we'll gladly help you out. So, we would like also to acknowledge the efforts of Sir Cyril Gonzalez for helping us organize this activity today. So, to our audience, here is our schedule for this morning. So DXE will be discussing problem solving and decision making, identifying the cause and implementing solutions. Next up, we have VXI challenges on hybrid setup, and Sunlife will be discussing the importance of savings. Ayan. So please be reminded that for everyone, at the end of this webinar, we will be releasing the links to your digital certificates and also evaluation. Ayan. So let's go to our first speaker. So our first speaker is Sir Francis Mata, Manager for Cybersecurity over at DXC. Sir Francis is a Mapua alumnus with 17 years of progressive experience in strategy, portfolio, consulting, and managed services. Industry experience includes banking and capital markets, manufacturing, energy, and health and science. Prior to DXC, Sir Francis held management roles in Citibank, Philip Morris, and Accenture. So here to discuss problem solving and decision making, let's call up to the floor Sir Francis Mata. Hi, sir. How are you? Good morning.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Sherry.
Nice to have you back, sir. Ayan.
Good
So,
morning.
to our audience, pwede po kayo maglagay ng questions if you're watching live. Pag hindi po kayo nanonood ng live, pwede nyo na lang po kami i-DM sa Facebook. Ayan. So, Sir Francis, your deck is up. So, I'll leave you to it and I'll be back for the Q&A. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. I hope you can hear me. Thumbs up or just put in the chat if you can hear me. All right. Sige. So, first off, good morning, everyone. So, name is Francis Mata. One is that I'm a Mapua alumnus. So, let me being here is a testament of, probably how the school is equipping you where you would want to be in the future. Right. So, that is one. The second one is that, yes, I am from DXC. You can put in the chat, if anyone here is familiar what DXC is, and probably I'll go through with the slides of who we are, what we do, and how we can help you. And the third item is actually the topic I have, which is really to do what is about problem solving and the decision making. Probably I'll dwell more on the problem solving if this is something that will be key for you to progress in a career of your choosing. So with that, let me now turn over to the slides and start presenting. There we go. All right. Okay, so first, what is DXC? Let the video tell you who we are. So let me just play the video.
How has DXC Philippines evolved in the last 2 decades? Growing, learning, and leading toward the future. Through conscious collaboration with market-leading technology providers, we've created compelling solutions and driven greater outcomes. for more than 200 industry-leading clients across multiple industries and regions. We've grown from supporting the world's largest enterprise systems to modernizing the way they do their business, and to partnering with them on innovations that make an impact to their business, and also their customers' businesses. We've cultivated a strong talent base of mature, diverse, and passionate Filipinos, making the Philippines the second largest global innovation and delivery center in DXC. As a GIDC, we invest in our people. We build capability to deliver at scale, managing mission
Oops, sorry.
critical businesses, and innovating to drive productivity. We provide critical, high-value services across the enterprise technology stack. We do all these from the Philippines, our home for almost 2 decades, where we have helped our clients transform and navigate the future of business with confidence, speed, and agility. We're here because this is where the talent is. And our talent, we are more than just customer service experts, engineers, or business analysts. We are poets and dreamers, innovators and disruptors, leaders and visionaries. We are Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, Baby Boomers. We see the best in each other. We're motivated to learn and succeed together. We take care of each other because we are family. We are currently apart, yet we remain connected by learning together, engaging, inspiring, recognizing, and growing. We have evolved and we haven't stopped our journey. We welcome you to join us toward a future we will map out together.
All right. So again, I hope that video gives you a brief introduction of who we are now on papers, no? What we are on papers actually. So if you can look at the screen, right? So DXC is have been operating in the Philippines for more than 19 years now. We are actually the second largest of the delivery center. We have about 7,000 in headcount, no? And we are targeting to grow more, no, in the next 3 years. We are known for our silent operations being a safe pair of hands. So basically, what is DXC in general? We are an enabler for other companies to excel via their enterprise stack. So we are an enabler of their enterprise IT stack so that they themselves can focus on what their true goals are, which is, making more products or being better at their service. All right. So we have a 24/7 always on operation. We also do follow the sun. Recently, 2021, we are actually awarded Asia's Best Employer Brand Award. We are heavily on SAP, no, but not only that, all other tech stack, that is something that is present to us. No? And if you're really after quality, no, so we do have this industry best practice benchmarking, like the ISO 20K, the service management, the InfoSec, business continuity, quality management, as well as the maturity models, no, or the CMMI. So a lot of these industry certifications and awards is a testament to how we really want to position ourselves to be an enabler, no, of other companies, aka our clients. Now in DXC, it's not all about IT. There are focus groups, right? So here on the right side, you will notice who we are and the services we offer. So we have the modern workplace, the ITO. So these are the legacy infrastructures, applications, for those that were into development work. We have innovators as well. So these are the creations of the white papers, the user experience, product discovery and development work. We also have a component of security. So those are in the interest of cybersecurity, understanding the threats, responding to threats and creating an insight and trends about it. This is where it is, and also our SAP practice. No? So those that are clients that are heavily invested into SAP, so they do custom application development as well as application maintenance. All right. So moving on to the next slide. Okay. So where are we? So if I've already told you who we are now, where are we? So DXC are actually in several locations. No? So we are in um, our primary site is actually working from home. So we are a virtual first organization. So if you are happy where you are and you are looking for an IT company where you can excel, then probably it's something that we can help you partner with. So we are a virtual first organization. It's a virtual first, so there are still it's not virtual permanent, no virtual all the time. There are still situations where the we require to be in the office basically for engagements and all. We have other sites. So if you're not familiar, we have a big site in the Taguig, in the McKinley IPC. So if you know Piazza, it's just the office across it. We also have a site in Eton Centris. And now we also have a site being built in Davao. So those of you who are in Davao and looking to explore a career in DXC, we have a site there for you. Okay, so as I did mention, why people have been polling or voting best employers. If you're not familiar, right? So we have those LinkedIn awards. We have other product awards, for the best companies. So we were awarded in 2021 as Asia's Best Employer Brand Award. Same year, Channel Asia Innovations Award. On 2022, we achieved the Global Best Employer Brand Award. And in 2022 as well, recently, late 2022, is kind of DXC got yung top companies, as one of LinkedIn top 15 companies in the Philippines. So more to go, more to do, and we're really looking forward to what the future holds for us for 2023 in terms of employer brand recognition. All right. Okay. So on to the topic that I've given. So it's really the topic that's been given to me is the problem solving um, and decision making. So let me dwell first on the problem solving. It's something that we actually do, pero it's something that wasn't formalized really. No? So this is something that you've been doing when you were a kid, when you were in high school, college, and now looking for work. It's just that coming to the corporate world, there is more structure to doing it. No? So let's just go through the definitions. Problem solving is actually a complex skill which involves critical thinking, decision making, creativity, and information processing. Now, yung effective solvers use a systematic approach that allows them to break down difficult problems into smaller, more manageable parts. And more importantly, problem solving is actually a skill. It's a soft skill, it's a people skill, it's a personal attribute. So if it's a soft skill, it's a people skill, it's inherent for you to bring with you to another work, to another organization, or to another challenge. So it's an inherent skill that you should be. Right? On to the next slide. Okay, so we did some definitions. Now let's talk about the structure. In any problem-solving situation, there are just three elements that we see. One is that the identification piece. It's us trying to understand the problem before we actually solve it. So first, we simply need to recognize that there is a problem and something that we will look into it further. The second one is the looking at the possible solutions. It's really doing a trial and error or collective judgment or your individual judgment. Um, what are the options we have to address a given solution and to execute? And the last portion of it is to actually implement the solution. So you did your math, you did your science, you did your spiritual assessment, and you think that this approach would be the solution, and then you will execute. All right. Okay. Um, Now there are methods. No? So I think this is something that you need to be familiar when you get into the roles that you will be in. There are varying methods that formalizes yung problem solving. Um, Whether you solve it as an individual, whether you solve it as a group, the elements are there. You identify it, you generate the possible solution, and then you implement the solution. Now, if you go not to corporate job or corporate work, they have different approaches to it, just really to formalize how it is being done. So some jargons, so we have the PDCA, it's the Plan, Do, Check, Act, the DMAIC, so define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So the 8 Ds, the Toyota business practice, and the Kata or Lean. What you would notice, many subsets, many row items, but it only speaks of the same things in general. You identify it, you generate a list of possible solution, and then you implement the solution, right? So probably, it will be good to actually know this in advance. Baka lang at any point in the interview, they'll be talking about those situations. No? So meron kayong makukuha the back pocket of jargons that the interviewers can understand as well or can relate. Okay. So now that you have those jargons, I think it will help to actually help apply those problem solving skills in your CVs, right? So to do that, what you can think of is actually applying these suggestions in how to make your CV robust enough for employers to actually recognize. I understand probably what we have in the audience are: one, people will soon to have a diploma with no job; two, a diploma already but no job; or three, with a job but looking for another set of job, or a new job. No? So I think if the CVs are the entry to getting your profile observed, managed, and the CV portals are a way for it, probably you might want to interject some of keywords to use to make your CV basically stand out. So how can you apply yung problem solving skill that you have? So one is to use action verbs, make a descriptive and specific, paint them a vivid picture of your careers, right? So probably you can use the word develop, streamline, research, to help, the computer when it does skills matching, what CVs can stand out. So you've made use of action verbs. Probably what you can also do is to quantify your acknowledgement. All right. Show metrics where you have. So if you did some thesis, what are the quantifiable outcomes, outputs, and the quantifiable problem that you can add in, so you can actually put it in your CV. And if you can also put in the success rate or the success outcome that it created after it, as well as the measures that help you resolve kung ano man yung thesis topic that you were into. So probably you can put words like managed, achieved, resolved, plus the corresponding numbers to it. All right. Now, if part of the problem solving you did a research component, then it's good to mention as well how you are conducting those research na relevant to your information. So probably you will put there the compiled data, you analyze, and routinely updates with new information. Question. These are just sample examples. No? So if you have, you are new grad and all, you may probably want to include this in the thesis components that you're working on. Another one is to actually highlight your creativity, right? If you were able to achieve the problem by just really thinking outside of the box, make sure to mention it in your CV. All right. And then lastly is to emphasize that you are, your collaboration skills. Remember, you are gonna enter an organization that collectively works together to achieve goals and targets. So it may be more revenue, bigger market, or key innovations. So you will always be working with other people collectively as a group to help address a goal or a situation. So make sure that you are also putting in, keywords to emphasize your collaboration skills. Like you're bringing the stakeholders together, you're helping resolve misunderstanding, or you facilitate cadence, to meet deadlines and all. Right? So I basically am to my last slide. Um, I did and really look at, some key takeaways, right? So one is to be proactive. No? So it's important to recognize that a problem exists before you can actually address it. No? Second one is to actually apply methods. No? So if there are formal ways of doing problem solving, then apply that. You can also do, you know, the simple method, right? Or what method that you will think work that will be practical enough to address yung problems. Importantly is that you need to break down the problems into smaller ones so that you can then work your way into the smaller goals that can bring you linearly, to addressing the bigger problem. One another is to be just really be open-minded, and just show the willingness to consider all possible solutions that you're not generally, thinking of, no, before. No. Be persistent as well. It's important just to keep trying to different things, no, until you are able to find to a solution, that works. And the last one for me is never hesitate to ask for help. Uh, you can, you can do it and fail, or you can do the shortcut and, ask for insights and inputs, so at least you get around, that expected failure, that can happen. So yun lang, no, always ask for help. All right, now we DXC is partnering with Jobs 180 to actually look for um, new grads, no, that we can bring into the organization, and probably after some time of nurturing can actually contribute and help us be an enabler for our clients. No. So we actually have a link for in Jobs 180 for careers in DXC. Lots of it. We are growing, and we are looking to, have more of you. Um, Trivia, and interestingly, Mapua is a big population of our demographics. Maybe there's something in Mapuans that can, that help us enable our clients. No? So let's take in. No? So uh, I think you are equipped, no, on the skill side of it. So let's translate and bridge that to an interview and probably next one hire side. All right. You can always check jobs180.com for, DXC Technology Philippines opening. And basically that's it. I blocked for 20 minutes. Bukang I'm ahead. All right. So Sherry, let me turn over to you. If there are questions or concerns.
Thank you for that, Sir Francis. Ayan. So, to everyone, again, if you're watching live, you can comment your section, your questions. Ayan. If you're not watching live, you send the questions directly to us. Ayan, para matulungan namin kayo. So, sir, ito po yung mga questions ko. First question. When we talk about problem-solving skills, kasi sir, very meta kasi siya. Yung parang you're thinking about thinking. Parang ganon. So, pag may case problem ka ba, sir, do you need to like, oh, this one is the planning stage, or this one is the act stage? Yeah. Um, how does this parang practice comes naturally to a person? Paano niya magagawa to on a daily basis, sir? Like without being too robotic na ito plan stage, ito gantong stage, ito gantong stage. Ayun, sir. Siguro that's my question.
All right. Sige. Yung what you see are the structures of how to do it, formally, maybe, probably, ideally, right? So in any case, it's like biking. You practice and then it becomes a muscle memory, right? So the theory is something that you need to understand first, and then as you apply, oops, muscle memory na lang pala yan, and it becomes natural. And in any way of life, in our sorts of, paano magluto, parang it's the same thing. You have to go through the instructions, then look at the approach, how to best do it, and then execute. No? So it takes practice to do it. Pero I'm sure you've been doing it all along. Opo, once I know na nagka-thesis kayo, I know that there were struggles in the journey to it, and I'm sure it's the best practice actually to develop problem solving. Because you're problem solving not only on the problem itself, on finding a solution, but you are navigating your way working with groups, dealing with personalities and all. So uh, um, inherently, subconsciously, you are already practicing. Nilagay lang dyan sa slide on the framework, how to best apply it. No? But you are already doing it.
Ayan, thank you for that, sir. Ayan, so to everyone, di nyo alam pero ginagawa nyo na siya. Di nyo lang siya hinahihimay pero it's on you. It's in you. Ayan. Okay. Do you believe, sir, that some people are just naturally good at critical thinking skills or problem solving skills, while others need to like develop it more, or is it like a patong-patong na experience until you reach a certain age? Definitely, kung 40 years old ka, mas magaling ka sa problem solving as opposed to a 20-year-old, for example. Do you believe that, sir? Like, it's a stack of experiences that you have to go through para ma-attain mo yung ganong level of, of metacognition, for example.
I have mentor who actually tells me, no, if you are given a question, probably the answer is it always depends. It always depends. No? What true? No, we recognize na experience allows us to um, um, go through a situation na mas madali, no, versus someone who is inexperienced, who haven't encountered it. Pero lo and behold, people that actually reads and listens, no, to this experience actually have a far better yung rate of response, no, to do it right the first time. No? So the key here is, to actually listen and learn, and you will then come across journeys where people made mistakes, people created problems, encountered problems you can relate to, and actually what they did. No? So the template is already there. So you can do it by yourself, learn it through the experience. Of course, you will gain it. Or sometimes it's worth, joining forums, listening to speakers, and then mabibigay nila the framework itself, how to do it, and then apply. So for that, my answer is it really depends.
Ayan. Thank you for that, sir. Last question na lang po, sir. What do you do or how do you address this situation? What if you find out, or what did you paano kung nalaman mo that you made a million peso mistake, for example, because we're working in corporations, ganyan, companies, and na realize mo lang, sir, that you made a million peso mistake or a $1 million mistake, how much, bala na. Paano siya nare-resolve, sir? Paano siya na-address? Ano po yung nagagawa sa susunod?
Yeah. So the good news about organizations is that it's an organization, it's not an individual. So collectively, how the mistake came to be 1 million, it's because several facets of the organization probably contributed to that. So if you are in that individual responsible for that 1 million mistake, for me, again, it depends, no, but one is call it out, identify that there is a problem. Now, second is to work the organization to help you solve the problem. I always say this, CEOs actually make mistakes that cost millions of financial, or not even, that can result into financial losses or financial gains, right? So for me, it's to really call it out, own it, and then work through the escalation path, no, to help address it. No. There are many controls in any given organization to address mga financial lapses and financial gaps. No. And for me is to work through the process. But for one is really to call it out, no, and really bring it out, no, to your management view, no, that something is we have a problem.
Thank you for that, sir. Follow up na lang, sir. Matatanggal ka ba, sir, if nagawa mo yung mistake na yun? Is that termination agad? Or may do?
Well, actually, again, it depends, right? No, so it can be a 1 million worth of training for you. That is one. Um, these are organizations basically help each other, right? So, there are mechanisms there that can help address yung mga kinds of losses. So, hindi agad tanggal sa trabaho. If it's negligence, if there is intent to harm, probably. If it's an accident, right, due to mistraining, right, maling execution ng code, boom, 1 million na bigay sa ibang tao, right? So it can just be retraining, or slap on the wrist. So it's not really an ending. No? But on the person who did it, at the end of the day, you are in control of your career. You are in control of what your action steps are. So at the end of the day, you still have decisions to make based on happiness.
Ayan. So, thank you for sharing your story, sir. Ayan. So, gusto ko yung mga tanungan natin ngayong umaga. So, to everyone who's watching, the link is on your screen. That's job20.com/careers at DXC. So, to Sir Francis, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And we look forward to having you again, sir, in future sessions with other universities naman po. Thank you, Sir Francis. Have a great day, sir. Ayan po. Have a restful Holy Week to everyone. Kasi Friday na ngayon. Ayan. So next up, here to discuss challenges in a hybrid setup, we have Miss Roan May Dizon-Berog, talent acquisition trainer over at VXI. Miss Roan is a licensed professional teacher with TESOL and TEFL certificate. She started her career as a corporate trainer with experience in staff development, leadership training, communication, and curriculum development way back 2017. With a strong background in delivering training, Ms. Ron joined the VXI family and started her journey as training specialist last 2021. So, Ms. Ron, hi ma'am, good morning, how are you? Yan.
Hi, good
Ma'am,
morning.
we can see your presentation. So, ma'am, if there will be glitches throughout your presentation, I'll come in po and then I'll advise you. So, with this, ma'am, I'll leave you the floor and I'll give you 20 minutes and I'll be back for Q&A. Thank you, Ms. Juan.
All right, thank you guys for having me. Yes, my name is Ro, and I am here to discuss to you our topic for today, which is maximizing the best of both worlds. We're going to talk about the challenges, the expectations, working in a hybrid setup. Now, if you're going to take a look at the picture, you can see here that this person, the picture, is working in the office, and of course, he's also staying at home. So it's really a great opportunity for us guys to discuss this topic, given that nowadays a lot of us are actually facing this. We need to really um, make use of working in both the office and at home. So yeah, we're gonna talk about what are the challenges. So hybrid, by the way, is it's a model. It's supported by doing a blended um, setup, which is in the office. And sometimes we do it remote or and on-to-go workers. This started because of what happened during the pandemic. Like everyone needs to stay at home, and everyone needs to come up with ways on how we can still work even though we are staying at home. So it's actually difficult to understand um, the challenges of doing both working in the office and working at home, given that you guys are not yet used to it or you haven't experienced it on your own. But this time around, I'm going to help you. What are the expectations? What are the things that you can do so you can maximize doing both. So it is expected that in the coming days it will be our new normal, given that nowadays many companies are switching from the previous traditional setup, which is just working in the office, to now doing it both, or sometimes working remotely 100%. But this is something that is not expected before. So it's very important for us to know what are the things that we should do and we shouldn't do. Okay. So what are the challenges in a hybrid setup? Okay. So here's the situation. So employees are returning in the office now after a long uh, pandemic time. We used to work at home. We are now transitioning from doing it both, the hybrid work arrangement. So from uh, 100% doing it remotely, we need to now find the balance between doing it on site and at home. Now, a lot of employers are scrambling to determine how to make it engaging and productive as possible. Like, for example, I do have some office mates of mine that only work in the office Mondays and Tuesdays, or sometimes they just do it twice a week. So I don't really get to see them. There's no engagement happening. And sometimes it's difficult to communicate with them. Uh-huh. And not only that, it's quite of a challenge for our productivity. Okay, now we're going to learn more about it and how are we going to handle that situation. And another situation is that a lot of companies are now trying lots of strategies on how to make the hybrid setup effective. All right, so adjusting work hours, adjusting the time frame, the shift, and who's going to work on site and who's going to work at home. Okay, so this is our situation now. This is the new normal. So in the future, if you're going to apply for a job and if they're going to ask you if you're ready to work with a hybrid work arrangement, definitely after this training, hopefully you can say yes, you're ready. Okay, so let's go to the next. So, what are the challenges in a hybrid setup? So, just like what I mentioned earlier, this is something new. We're not used to it, so we definitely need to prepare. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, it's just going in the office and it's just going at home. You're just going to be bringing your task at home. Now, it's totally different because as a human being, our home is our comfort zone, right? It's definitely easier to be productive in the office given that you are working with your office mates and you are, let's just say, your mind is set to think that the office is a place to work. All right, so that's one challenge for me. Adopting from the traditional setup, which is just in the office, and then doing purely 100% remote, and now we need to combine both is a challenge, definitely. Okay, now I'm going to be presenting you some of the challenges that we do have here. Okay, first off, if you're going to see my slide here, less access to work resources and equipment. Now, this will really happen, okay, given that not all the resources that we do have in the office we can't bring everything at home, right? For example, you can't bring the whole conference room in your small space at home, right? You can't bring, let's just say, your whole desktop and everything, even your coworkers in the from in the office to your home. So those are your work resources, all right? So it will definitely be a challenge. You definitely need to know how to be resourceful if you're going to be doing the hybrid setup. Next one, you will feel less connected to the organization's culture. Now, what I'm saying with the culture is our practices, what we used to do, our habits, all right, in the office that we usually, let's just say, it's easy for us to practice if we are within the organization. When we say within the organization back then, it means to say you were working in the office with them. Now, given that the hybrid setup works differently, okay, you need to know how to engage with your organization, with your coworkers in a different manner or in a different way. Okay. Next one, reduce cross functional communication and collaboration. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't see him that much, or I don't see my coworkers or my office mates that much. So it's kind of difficult for me to communicate with them and collaborate with them. Before, I just need to tap them on the shoulder and say, I need your help. Or maybe you can just simply um, ask them to drink coffee with you. And from there, you're going to talk about the challenges at work. But now it's totally different, given that you don't see them from time to time, or sometimes your schedule will not meet each other's. Yeah, your schedule will be different from each other. So there's a tendency that you will not have the same shift. You will not see them in the office 5 times a week than than the regular traditional office setup. Okay, and we need to find ways on how to communicate with them. Later on, I'm going to discuss to you how. And of course, disrupted processes. Okay, this is also because it's kind of challenging to work with someone, okay, if you're not you don't have the same routine. For example, your routine will definitely change if you will do a work at home setup. Of course, it's also difficult to adjust, given that you're used to doing something, and it will also disrupt the process, given that a lot of people are adjusting, a lot of people are still adapting to the changes that's happening, and that is one challenge that I can see that I can say is one of the most difficult to address. And hopefully everyone gets to understand how it works and how we can make it effective. um, yeah, more idea about that later on. Next one is more difficult to coordinate with coordinate work schedules, tasks, and timelines. I mentioned this earlier, given that different shift, different. We still do have, let's just say, manpower. It's just that it is distributed to different time frames, so it will cover more tasks than before, and of course to increase the productivity rate as well. So it might as well um, Oh, I mean, we might as well help ourselves with these tips and strategies later on that I'm going to be discussing. So we will limit the miscommunication. And how are we going to over communicate to help our workmates, and of course to survive and to be effective, and of course to maximize this hybrid setup. Next one, impaired working relationship with coworkers. You know what? This is really a challenge if you don't know them, or let's say you didn't get to meet them before pandemic happens. For example, we do have new hires, and we are really um, exerting a lot more effort than before when we try to build rapport, when we try to build connection with them, given that we don't see them. Okay, before you're just gonna hang out in the office, ask them for a cup of coffee, eat together. But now it's totally different. You need to communicate with them virtually. You need to set up meetings with them, call them. It's better if you're gonna be having a camera so you get to see them and you don't feel like as if you're just talking to someone you don't really know, to build a connection. So these are just some of the challenges that we are encountering in the hybrid setup. Okay, so if you are this kind of person who would like to connect with other people, you're extroverted, okay, this will definitely be a challenge for you. Even for introverted people, this is still going to be a challenge given that you need to adopt from doing it at home and in the office, and from people like me who would love to build a routine, it will definitely crush your heart if ever your routine will be disrupted because of this hybrid setup. Okay, all right. So let's proceed to what are the things that we need to expect during this hybrid work setup. Now, a lot of people will say that they're expecting it to be really challenging. That is really true. Some of them are expecting it to be somehow um, elevate their stress a lot more, given that they need to they don't know how to do it. It's something new to them, and of course it's something that they're not used to, um, and they have to really exert more effort doing this hybrid setup. So yeah, those are some of the expectations that I'm hearing from some of my friends. Now let's talk about the advantages and the challenges of hybrid work setup and what can we do to work around this situation. Okay, so first off, um, the greatest advantage of hybrid work setup up to date is it improves work-life balance. Okay, usually if we're doing the office setup, we don't have that much time with our family. We spend a lot of time um, traveling from home, from your house to your work site, and of course it um, you know our traffic situation here in the Philippines is really difficult, and for them um, they don't really get to spend time and they don't really get to take care of themselves, given that it's not effective for them to do it whenever they're doing it, whenever they're working most of their time or spending most of their time in the office. Okay. Another advantage of having hybrid setup is, according to studies, it's more efficient with the use of the time, okay, control over work hours and work location, and it's limiting burnout mitigation as well. And of course, according to study, it's effective because of the higher productivity. Now, it depends, actually, if you're going to find a balance in between. Let's talk more about that. Because hybrid work provides the flexibility for employees to work um, in ways that are most effective for them. All right? Employees believe their current hybrid arrangements improve their personal well being and, of course, productivity at work. I totally agree with this, and definitely for me, it's also effective. Okay, so instead of being anxious about it, instead of being worried about it, I think this is something that you can look forward to having. Okay, working in a hybrid setup. Now, hybrid individual contributors, managers, senior leaders closely agree on both the top advantages and disadvantages of hybrid work, signifying more ground in organization than might be expected. They're just a little bit worried on the engagement part. Okay. Now, the challenges, just like what I mentioned earlier, I mentioned a couple of challenges. Let me just do a quick recap. The challenges involves around the tools, the resources that they can bring from the office to their homes, to their and do it. Let's just say provide the same resources that they can see from the office, and do it at home. Another one is they feel less connected. This is what most of the employers are very concerned about. Less connected to the organization's culture, impaired collaboration in relationships, and of course disrupted work processes. So just like what I mentioned earlier, this is due to having not the traditional setup wherein you can easily tap a person and ask them for help. This time around, you will need to do it remotely. So hybrid work is creating a need for better coordination of, let's just say, resources, both at home and on site, which is kind of a challenge nowadays. Home offices now need to be fully functional and permanent workstations that maximize personal productivity. Now, this is something that we need to really uh, focus on. You need to have a permanent workstation. You need to have it fully functional, given that it's going to be really, let's just say, it's going to be disorganized in a way if you will just bring your laptop anywhere in the house, guys, right? Okay. And it's difficult for us to focus if we don't have a specific workplace, okay, or a workstation. All right. On-site offices, on the other hand, we do have conference rooms, stations, which is capable of doing collaborative work. Okay. Stations to remote participants are fully included in team interactions. Now, this is us doing on-site work. We can easily collaborate with people. We do have conference rooms specifically for us to collaborate, and we do have our permanent workstations, which will, let's just say, improve our focus. Okay, all right, especially for people who used to procrastinate a lot if they can see a lot of distractions, especially if you're doing it at home. Okay, so those are just some of the challenges. Now, let's talk about the things that we can do to help us be more effective in the hybrid setup. Okay, so hybrid work creates the opportunity to spend meaningful time together in the office, collaborating and building relationships. However, hybrid work also requires more extensive coordination of meetings and schedules. From determining when others are available, you're going to be asking people around here, are you available around this time? Can you meet me around this time? Are we going to be are we going to do it offline or are we going to do it online, virtual meeting? All right. It requires a lot of energy to manage all of these things. Okay. The top challenge of hybrid work are far less prevalent than the top advantages of doing hybrid work. So for me, it's still 70% advantage and 30% of a challenge. That is just my number. Okay, so let's talk about how can we actually be effective. These are some of the tips that we do have to harness a hybrid model, and of course, we need to make it work. Okay, so we do have 6 tips here. The first one is to assess your priorities. Now, this is a must, especially for those people who are having a hard time finding the balance in between working in the office and doing it at home. You need to really assess your priorities. Now, based on my experience, I need to really understand which one is urgent, which one is important, and which one is important and urgent, and which one is not. Okay, so that is how you're going to assess your priorities. Urgent is something that you need to do right away. So urgent task can be urgent and important, or sometimes it can be urgent but not that important. So you need to really evaluate which is which. Okay. So that is how you're going to do it. Now, what's urgent may not always be what's important, just like what I mentioned earlier. So make sure you understand your priorities. Once you've done that, you can map out specifically what you plan to do, okay, and repeat until you create new habits. Okay, so according to studies, it will not be a habit of yours if you're not going to do it within or continuously within 21 days. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 21 days. Okay, so continue doing it until you get to build a habit. That may look like adding calendar items to black out times to focus on specific tasks. For example, a lot of people will say, whenever I open my email, whenever I get to spend time reading unread messages, I get to spend a lot of time. And sometimes um, I'm not realizing it soon enough that I'm done with the day, but just reading my emails. All right. So please don't do that. Just block out some time to focus on doing your email. Let's just say 30 minutes or an hour within the day. Don't spend your whole day answering inquiries or answering emails. Okay? All right. Not unless if that's your if that's your only job to do, or if that's the only task you do have. But if you do have other tasks, try to make use of calendar items. Schedule and assess which one in your schedule needs to go first. Okay, focus on the things that are important. Okay, don't let them get derailed by non-important, urgent things. Okay, so that is for number one. Okay, this is going to be um, something we need to learn to do. We need to exert a lot more effort doing assessing. Okay, especially in a hybrid setup. So based on my experience, it definitely helps me to assess my priorities if I know to myself, if I'm going to be working, for example, today I'm going to be working from home, tomorrow I'm going to be working in the office. You need to assess what are the things that you need to do in the office. All right. What are the things that you can actually do in the office, but you might think that you can actually bring it at home? So you can just do a work at home while doing that task. It's up to you, actually. Just try to find a balance in between. Next one, evaluate your productivity. Now, this is really something that we need to do, especially if you're new to the hybrid model or hybrid setup. Okay, look at your calendar and assess when you were most effective and when you were least. Okay, so actually, there's an app that can help you with this. Okay, but for newbies, and if it's going to be your first time to evaluate your productivity, you can just simply take down notes. Okay, grab a small notebook and list down the things that you need to do within the day, and try to tick all the boxes. Okay, and at the end of the day, try to check how many boxes or how many tasks were you able to accomplish within the day. That's going to be a great help. Okay, and then try to indicate there as well in the notes whether you're doing it at home or in the office, and do a comparison afterwards. Like, for example, I was able to do five important things when I'm in the office. I can only do three whenever I'm at home. So maybe I need to work on my productivity at home. Maybe I need to isolate myself at home, so less distraction. Okay, my work will not be interrupted. If you do have a pet, for example, and they're not helping you, in my case, I own a cat, and sometimes I lock my door so my cat can't disrupt me or disturb me whenever I'm working. So I can effectively and let's just say be productive working at home. Okay, so less restrictions. Okay, so that's it. Evaluate your productivity, whatever you're doing, work at home or work in the office, and try to do a comparison. You also should review which calendar items are worth keeping, especially if you're working at home. If you do have a lot of meetings, sometimes here's the thing, two sides of the coin. Whenever you're doing work at home, two sides of the coin, sometimes you were less productive or you're overdoing it. Okay, because you're thinking you don't have to travel to go to work, you don't feel tired, you don't feel like you are bombarded with a lot of tasks, so you overdo things whenever you're doing it at home. Okay, it's also something you need to check. Okay, hmm that may mean auditing recurring meetings to shorten, cancel, or reform them into emails or other forms of communication. Now, I always tell my office mates, if the meeting is something that can be done via email instead, why do the meeting? Right? If you can just type it down and send it to everyone, what's the sense of doing a meeting? Or why not just reform them and turn them into emails instead? Okay, this way you can save everyone's time. You're not gonna be asking too much from everyone. Okay, but if it's something that You need input from, let's just say you need feedback from your managers, feedback from your associates, some ideas and suggestions from them, then create a meeting or do a meeting. But if ever that is just for information, in announcements, changes, and whatnot, why not just reform them into emails? Okay, so you still need to evaluate your productivity and try to be productive by working smart. Okay, we do some things only because that's the way we've always done them, and don't think like that. It's better if you're going to be innovative and try to be creative with your approach. Okay. Next one, number three, is find your balance. Okay. I've been mentioning that we need to definitely find a balance in between. How are we going to do that? First off, we need to break down the percentage of time you want to spend. Then compare that with how much time you're actually spending and adjust accordingly. Okay? That's how we do it. So, first off, listing it down, make sure that all the details you have are correct. List down all the tasks, break them down into percentage, and then try to analyze how much time do you spend doing each task, and then try to compare them afterwards. And whether it's working for you, it's affecting your productivity, you will know from there, and then adjust. Okay, we definitely need to be doing a lot of adjusting, adapting. We definitely need to be flexible nowadays given the hybrid setup. Next one, adjust your notifications. Okay, now this goes to everyone who do have a lot of device. Okay, or maybe just one device and your notification your notifications not helping you at all, but disrupting your work and making you not productive. Okay. Now, for me, if you've been working with default notification settings on your device and apps, and you're probably getting hit all day with distractions, okay, this is not a good sign. Okay, you definitely need to change it. Setting focus and work mode settings on. It's applicable for iPhones and Android users. Try to filter out noise when you're trying to get things done. For example, if you need to do a task and it requires a lot of focus, and you definitely get distracted with the notifications on your phone, try to adjust the notification. Put it on silent mode or adjust the volume so it will not disturb you. Okay, this way you will be more productive. Okay, you can also set time limits for each app or set time limit for each task. Okay, this may mean this will also definitely mean that you will be shutting down your email or your Teams notification. I'm not really sure if you guys will be using Teams or Slack, all right, or whatever project management tools you do have there. Just make sure that if you do need to focus, you need to adjust your notifications. Okay, and the next one is for you to organize and archive. All right. So first, you should not only organize your physical workspace. Okay, we're not only talking about your workstations here. Now, by the way, you definitely need to um, make use of a better space if you're working at home. Okay, all right. A lot of distractions will usually happen at home, given that it is your comfort zone. So you need to organize your physical workspace and also your digital one. Okay, your digital workspace. Okay. That being said, you need to um, make your workspace an effective workspace for you. Okay, by cleaning up your desktop, or probably if you're talking about digital workspace, move icons for apps or documents so you can regularly see them, and if ever that you need to access them, it's easier for you to spot them. Okay, don't forget to archive or delete unnecessary files as well. This way, you are helping yourself stay organized. Okay, organize your email as well. All right, you definitely need to put them in folders. Okay, and the last one is get a head start. Now, um, no one's going to let's just say no one's going to tell you that you're not supposed to prepare. You can just do it on a get-go, right? Most of the time you will hear people try to tell you to prepare, get a head start, and organize your things before you start your day. This is also the same thing. Get a head start. Start your day or the week by spending at least 15 minutes going through your inbox, your calendar, the things that you need to do, tick some boxes in other communications, and creating a priority list for important work. This way, you will not be overwhelmed, okay, when you start doing the hybrid setup, okay? Now, let's take a look at the next one, which is what are the leaders supposed to do? Okay, these are some questions that we need to ask the leaders. Okay, if you do have leaders in this group or if someone's going to be watching this, okay, these are some of the things that might be helpful for you. We can start by asking our team members what's working, what's not, and what's most effective for them. For example, you can probably ask them to describe the work you do that can be done independently. What are the work or the tasks that you can do on your own? If you can list down some of those tasks, and you can agree to do it at home, given that it's something that you can do at home anyway because it's just you. Okay, you can independently do it. You don't need to collaborate with anyone. Well, then that's the time that you can ask them to work from home. Next is to describe the work that you do that is better when you work with others, okay, or you work together. Okay, now this time around, it's easier to collaborate and to work with other people in the office, given that you can see them face to face. Well, then I think that's the time that you got to prioritize doing these tasks in the office. Okay, the next one is what happens when we are in person together that doesn't when we work from home. Okay, so this is something that you need to adjust. Who will be working from home? Who will be working in the office? And if ever that there are people who you used to work remotely and this is going to be your first time to be working with them, it's time to build rapport, right? And ask them how you can communicate with them better. Can you communicate with them better via email, or are they more comfortable receiving a call? Right? Things like that. Next one, describe the times when our team works best with other teams. Now, this is like a comparison. This is your performance last month, let's just say, and you're performing better because you guys are working from home. And then come by next month, do a comparison as well. Are you most effective? What are the things that you did this month? And try to compare. Actually, I don't like comparing my own team from the other team members or from the other team, let's just say, because I prefer, um, let's just say, comparing our previous performance from our current performance. This way, um, I we will definitely feel better, and there's no unnecessary competition that's gonna happen. That's just my opinion. Next one is how do we build some predictability in our work schedule so in person time is maximized. Okay, now this is something that we need to also learn how to evaluate. We need to evaluate where the priorities and is it really being maximized, or we're just spending time in person without actually being productive at all. Okay, so of course you're gonna be paying for the fare. You're gonna be spending money on food if you're gonna be doing it in person. So might as well maximize it, right? Next one, describe the times when we have created exceptional value for our customers. Now, are you more effective? Is your sales going up whenever you're doing it in person, or remotely is better? Okay, this is something that you need to evaluate as well. Okay, so that's it for our topic for today, maximizing both worlds, hybrid setup. Okay, there are challenges and advantages as well. All we have to do is really make use of the tips and definitely improve our productivity by evaluating our performance. Now, we do have here work. We do have here a saying, a quotation. Okay, it says here, work is not a place, it's what you accomplish together. So this is really a very handy quotation, given that from getting used to work in the office with your teammates, seeing them. Okay, that's what we call teamwork before. Okay, but nowadays, teamwork will not only show when you guys are together, but when you guys are working together, even though you can't see each other. Okay, so that is something that we need to understand. Work is not a place, it's what you guys accomplish together. Okay, thank you guys for having me. Once again, I just want to let you guys know for VXI positions available, try to visit our website at www.jobs180.com/VXI. All right. We do have sites in Makati and Quezon City, in Bridgetown, and of course in Davao. Okay, for non-agent positions and internship opportunities, we do have that as well. Visit our website. Okay, don't forget to update your online resume so it's going to be easier for you to reach out to your recruiters in the future. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Ron. So to our audience, the floor is now open for questions. Ma'am, I have two questions for you. So first question, ma'am, what tools do you use to measure and spike up productivity po? Personally, ma'am.
Hi, yeah. Actually, I do. I really need to maximize using my phone. All right. So you can download some productivity apps using your phone, using your device, and there are some applications as well that can help you block your time. Okay. I just forgot the name, but there's this app that my cousin is using, wherein if you're going to set a timer, you can't use your phone for a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. Okay, I just don't use it anymore, given that sometimes I get urgent calls from my managers, and I definitely cannot open my phone if I do have that app. But that is an app that you can use if you think you are procrastinating a lot, or if you need to manage your time better. Yeah, you can just simply explore. I highly suggest that you create a project management tools for your team as well. So you will get to track their productivity from there. So what we're using right now is the Slack. The
Okay.
Slack. Slack.
Thank you for that, ma'am. Next question. What aspect of hybrid work do you struggle with? Like kayo mismo, ma'am. And how do you address it?
Actually, yeah, hybrid work setup is really challenging. For me, the most challenging part is number one, communication, and number two, coordination. Okay, collaboration. First one, coordination. First one, communication. Now, a lot of times, people are not used to communicate remotely. Okay, so for example, me personally, before I will just tap an office mate and ask for help. Nowadays, it's different. You need to email them, you need to set up an appointment, you will go through a lot of process just for you to communicate with them. Okay? Sometimes you can ping them via Teams or Messenger, but from time to time, you will not receive a response right away. Okay. Before you can just simply tap someone and that's it. You try to ask someone, do a conversation with them there and then. Okay. But now it will take a lot of patience, a lot of over communicating. When I say over communicating, you definitely need to over communicate. You don't just send a text message, you're done sending a text message, you also send an email, all right, and do a quick follow up with them after 10 minutes to 15 minutes that you don't receive any response. Okay, that is over communicating, given that not everyone will be in front of their computer 100% of the time. So, yeah. Number two is collaborating, working together. It's also difficult given that, let's be honest, we're human beings, we're sociable beings, right? It's easier to socialize if you can see that person face to face. Okay, and if you're not seeing them face to face, it's going to be a challenge building rapport. Okay, and collaboration teamwork starts from building rapport, especially if they're new to the company and you don't know them personally. It's definitely a challenge.
All right, so there we have it. So, Ms. Roan, again, on behalf of jobs20.com and of course on behalf of the Mapua schools, thank you so much for being with us today. So, to everyone, may we invite you that the link for VXI is on your screen. That's jobs20.com/VXI. So, thank you, Ms. Roan, and have a great day po.
Thank you so much.
Ayan. So to everyone, we have another topic. So this is our last topic for this morning. So we have the importance of savings. So this will be discussed by Sir Jaymie Ignacio, sales manager for Sunlife. Sir Jaymie Ignacio is 36 years old and born in Bulacan, Bulacan. He graduated from Mapua University and a licensed chemical engineer. He is quoted as financial advisor in August 2015, promoted to unit manager in 2017, and promoted to sales manager in 2021. A platinum awardee and a consistent medallion qualifier as advisor and FM. Also, he is a AAA awardee, three times Internal Quality Award recipient, five times Macaulay Club qualifier, top six in lives national level for Love Month 2021, and top 54 in lives national level for President's Month in 2021. So let's welcome to the floor Sir Jing Ignacio. Hi, sir. How
Hi,
are you?
good morning, everyone. I'm good. How about you, Shari?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you. Ayan. Sir, your presentation is up. So I leave you to it and I'll be back for the question and answer after your presentation. So we
No
give you the floor,
problem,
sir.
Shari. Thank you. So, bright morning, everyone. So, I'll be discussing with you how to make saving money a fun habit. Okay, and I think this will be beneficial to all the Mapuans here who I assume are soon to be graduates. And this is something that you can apply, especially when you enter the corporate arena or the real world. By the way, I'm proud and I'm happy because I got invited in this session because I am from Mapua as well. I'm a Mapua graduate, batch 2003. Okay, next slide. So again, my name is Jaymie Ignacio and I work as a sales manager from the number one insurance company in the Philippines. And the reason why I joined Sunlife is because I was really into saving up and investing and diversifying my portfolio. I actually worked for 7 years in the engineering industry, and then I decided to work as a financial advisor. And I was given the opportunity to lead and to handle people. That's why I got promoted to a sales manager. Okay. And my topic would be helpful for all the Mapuans because I want everyone to know how to grow their money or how to grow their hard-earned money as early as now. Okay. So before I move along, I just want to share with you this picture. And I know that most of you know the story of the grasshopper and the ant. Okay? So kumbaga bata pa lang tayo, we are aware of how this story ended. So the questions now are, do we want to be the grasshopper of the world who enjoy and seize the moment yet forget to prepare for what is to come? Or tayo, do we want to be the ants who instead of dancing and making music, save and store food for the rainy days? Or, syempre, dapat bagong character ba tayo who knows how to have fun yet is prepared for the rainy days? So, yan yung magiging topic natin ngayon. Babalik tayo dun sa childhood lesson na natutunan natin doon sa pag-iimpok, pag-iipon, and how to save up for the rainy days. Okay? So, next slide. So, question, what is saving? Okay. So saving is the portion of income not spent on current expenditures. It is the money set aside for a goal or for future use. Okay, our savings is the foundation of our financial goals, and good saving habit allows us to accumulate more wealth or more funds as years pass by. And tayo, bata pa lang tayo, tinuturoan na tayong mag-ipon. Para sa ganon, this will be used for our future, for our life goals. Let's say for our retirement, for our business, or for ourselves. Kumbaga, kailangan we set aside something for ourselves. Kasi importante na nag-iipon tayo para if something comes up, we have money to spare. Okay? So, why is saving very important? So, next slide, please. So, it is important because, number one, it offers peace of mind. Number two, you can plan for short-term goals. Number three, it gives you a better future. And number four, it gives you security in case of an unfortunate event. So savings is crucial for everyone regardless of their earnings, spending, and life stages. Kaya tayo, sinasabi nila, naku, saka na ako mag-iipon kapag okay na yung cash flow ko. But the truth is, when you save up, it doesn't matter how much you earn. It is more on discipline sa totoo lang. It is more on practicing kung ano ba dapat yung itatabi mo para sa sarili mo. Some Filipinos would think saving is hard. Pero sa totoo lang, it takes patience talaga. And ang importante dito is kumbaga nakokontrol mo yung sarili mo on what portion to save up and what portion to spend. Okay? And syempre, when it comes to saving up, dapat alam natin yung tamang allocation or yung tamang partition or segmentation. Because saving, parang sa Mapua, engineering, dapat meron ding planning na matindi. Dapat may proper setting aside para alam natin kung ano yung portion or ratio ng bawat isa. So next slide, please. So, ano ba yung ideal saving? Okay, kumbaga, tayo, we are taught of ano ba yung gagawin ko dito sa portion ng aking kinikita. So basically, if you start working, you will be earning. And if you earn, you need to know how to properly allocate your budget. So this is the ideal way of segmenting yung inyong source of income. Okay, because some of us may salary or most of you in the future, pwede rin magkaroon kayo ng mga side hustle wherein you want to earn more para mas lumaki yung inyong funds na pwedeng gamitin in the future. So ito yung ideal ideal numbers. Okay? When you earn, 50% of your income should go to your essential needs. This allocation, this focuses more on those daily expenses o yung mga essential expenses na hindi nyo dapat na-miss out. Examples are bills, payment, grocery, transportation, medicine, etc. Okay? In short, this will be used for you to function. Hindi pwedeng hindi tayo gagastos. Kasi paano tayo magkakaroon ng productivity or paano natin magagawa yung important things sa ating buhay if hindi tayo gagastos? Mahirap. Okay? Next is 30% of your income should go to your discretionary expenses which are not that essential to your survival such as gym, membership, entertainment, unnecessary travel, designer clothing, etc. This 30% or should I call it yung budget allocation mo for your lifestyle. Kasi it is important not to deprive yourself. If you work, kailangan may sineset aside ka for your essential expenses and at the same time for your lifestyle. Kumbaga, lifestyle or fun expenses kasi hindi naman pwedeng puro lang tayo trabaho. Importante rin, meron tayong tinatabi para sa sarili natin to enjoy yung buhay natin. And last, syempre, 20% should go to your savings. Importante yan. Why? Kasi these savings, kumbaga, ito yung magiging basis mo to build your fund, to build your future, to grow your money. As much as possible, 10% should go to your savings and debt payments for credit card and loans. If you were to ask me, Sir Jaymie, okay lang po ba magkaroon ng credit card? Yes, but you have to use it wisely. Hindi yung pwedeng gastos lang tayo ng gastos. Ang mahirap kasi sa credit card is gumagamit tayo ng wala pang money at hand. So you have to be very careful and you have to be, cautious on using your credit card. Okay, in short, when you earn, ang madali lang partition dito is 50 or 30%, o ang total is 80%. Focus yan on the expenses. And 20% is focusing on the savings. The question now is, as a Filipino, ano ba ang iyong saving habit? Based doon sa mga financial experts, if you earn, better to set aside 20% muna. Agad-agad yan. Magtabi ng 20% of your savings kasi ang concept dito, you are paying yourself first. Okay? Based on my experience talaga when it comes to dealing with my clients, sila, majority of them, kapag nag-earn, gastos muna. Ang importante, if you get your income, let's say your salary, magtabi ka muna ng 20%. And after maitabi mo yung 20%, gastos ka na ng 80%. Basta maganda, magtabi ka muna, paying yourself first. Okay? So yun yung mahalaga kasi if we are consistent on setting aside, let's say 20% of our monthly income, we are aligned with our life goals. Let's say you want to put up your business, you want to have enough funds for your retirement, you want to have funds for your education, let's say higher degree, master's or doctorate, or a portion of yourself to build a house or to get a car. Okay? So, how can we make saving money fun? So, next slide, please. Okay. So, actually, maganda and importante na makapagtabi tayo ng money na hindi tayo parang obliged to do so. Kasi minsan, ang mga Pilipino is, naku, savings, ano lang siya, baka maging burden lang sa akin yan. So, importante na sa ginagawa natin, nag-enjoy tayo. Huwag nating isipin na masyado siyang responsibility for us. Kasi Filipinos are not that literate when it comes to financial education. That's why there are private companies who are promoting financial education for free so that they could help their employees to uh, to earn more or to diversify their portfolio. And also our government, our local government offices, they also have initiatives or drives to promote financial literacy, and they started this drive to elementary students. Kasi yun ang importante yung financial literacy sa Philippines tumaas para mag-elevate rin yung quality natin or yung knowledge natin in terms of financial freedom. Okay? So, paano ba natin magagawa maka-save tayo ng money in a fun way? So, next slide please. Okay. First is, you set a clear and specific goal. Okay? So, when you plan for your future, when you save up, importante, you know your goal. And dapat nga SMART. SMART is an acronym which stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic, and T, time bound, or may time frame tayo. Ang Filipinos normally, pag tinatanong ko or tinatanong ng aming company, Filipinos talaga, they have dreams in life. But what is more important is you set a deadline or a SMART goal for this, kumbaga for your dream na sinasabi mo. Bakit? Kasi parang ang analogous dyan is, ikaw, kapag may dream ka, nasa marathon ka, takbo ka lang ng takbo, pero wala kang finish line. So, very, very, tawag dito, very absurd na tinatawag namin. Kaya importante, if you set a goal, dapat klaro. Let's say, SMART nga na tinatawag. For example, I have a goal of getting my house. So, kailan? Kailan yung house na yan? Dapat nga alam mo kung ano yung bahay na yan. Let's say bungalow ba yan, condo type ba yan, mansion ba yan? And then you need to know gaano kalaki, gaano kalawak. Next is how much. Kung magkano ba yung bahay na gusto mo, saan ba ito bibili mong property na to? And syempre, realistic yan. Ang bahay naman is realistic, di ba? And time bound, let's say, how many years mo pagtatrabahuhan for you to get to that goal or for you to buy that property. Aside from that, ito pa yung other tips na pwede naming sabihin. Number one, when you set a clear and specific goal, you need to have your emergency fund. Importante yan. And ang emergency fund should be equivalent to at least 3 times of your basic salary. Why? Importante, and this actually tested most of the Filipinos, especially during pandemic. Why? Kasi, ng pandemic, some Filipinos, they lost their jobs. Okay, so they lost their livelihood, they lost their source of income, and through emergency fund, they were able to sustain their lifestyle, to sustain their daily expenses. So pag emergency fund, let's say you are earning 20,000, as much as possible, minimum meron kang 60,000 if you are earning 20,000. So para if something happens, meron kang paghuhugutan. Same doon sa tinuro kanina, doon sa ating kwento, na bata pa lang tayo, tinuturo na sa atin yung grasshopper and the ant. Importante, meron ka natatabi. Para sa ganun, if an emergency happens, meron kang mapagkukuhanan. Next is travel fund. Choose your destination. Consider airfare, accommodation, pocket money, and contingency plan. Okay? So, meron nga ako natatawa na meme ngayon, outang daw, outang, outing, pero outang. Kumbaga, nag-outing ka pero dahil sa utang. Dapat hindi ganon. When we plan for our travel, or let's say yung uh, outside of the country man yan or domestic, we need to have proper uh, preparation. Let's say we need to look for cheaper ways, or not cheaper ways, but practical ways on how to, let's say, get a ticket na mas mura or at a reasonable price. And then, dapat meron rin tayong itinerary na maayos para lahat organized. Mahirap kasi kapag disorganized, mas tumataas na nagiging gastos natin sa totoo lang. Kasi hindi tayo prepared. But if everything is planned out really well, mas magiging ayos yung ating cash flow. Next, pursue further studies, certifications, master degrees, or PhD. Okay, kumbaga ito, sample na to, if you really want to get a higher education, dapat pag-iipunan mo. Parang college lang, di ba? So, Mapua, tayo, quart term tayo before. Ako, when I entered Mapua, quart term na kami. Ibig sabihin, every 3 months, talagang yung ating educational setup doon. So, dapat alam natin on time matapos tayo. Kasi kapag sobra tayo, magiging magastos sa totoo lang. Okay? Next is own latest gadgets. If we want to own yung gadgets, dapat alam natin na hindi lang siya sa value, kung ano yung mapagagamitan natin. Mahirap kasi kung bilhin tayo ng bilhin ng gadget pero wala talaga tayong purpose on what to use or how to use it eh. Let's say, gadgets, pero gagamitin mo to increase your productivity, to enrich you in terms of your financial education, or to enrich you in other areas of your expertise. Dapat utilize talaga yung ating paggamit ng gadget. Hindi yung puro social media lang. Better meron tayong ma-earn from it. We will get something from it. And finance habits and leisure. So, dito, sa aming financial planning, we also teach on parang allocating something for your physical health or something that you can enjoy. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng ipon-ipon lang dahil dapat pinapangalagaan din natin yung ating personal well-being. So you have to allocate funds or budget on that aspect. Okay? So next slide. Okay, so this way, you savings won't have to feel like a taxing exhausting obligation. Kumbaga, if you, let's say, set goals and ginagawa mo yung na-mention kong things, parang hindi ka nagiging parang burden para sa iyo yung pag-iipon properly. And managing your savings, number one, you have 2 or more separate accounts. Siyempre, dapat you have emergency fund, travel or leisure fund, and dream fund. Yung dream fund, it's up to you kung ano man yan. And importante, when you manage your savings, you have to choose the right platform on how to yield higher interest rates. Nowadays, we have so many investment vehicles on how to grow our money. When I was growing up, when I was taking college pa back then, I was only aware on growing my money through bank deposits or time deposits. But when I started working or entering the corporate arena, that was the time when I got exposed to different investment firms. Okay? So next slide, please. Okay? So where to put my money, my savings, or how to grow my money? Again, very traditional. Importante na maglagay rin tayo ng portion natin ng pera doon sa mga bangko. Kasi these banks can provide us yield. Hindi man siya mataas, pero at least merong other way on growing our money. Okay? I always suggest to my clients na not all your money naman should be put in the bank. Dapat hiwa-hiwala yan. Katulad ng second one, legitimate investment firms. We have so many firms wherein when you invest, they will be the ones to work on growing your money because your money will be invested to top companies in the Philippines, blue chip companies, and these companies may be aggressive or may be risky, pero at least yung yield niya okay naman. By the way, when you start investing your money, you have to know your risk profile. You need to know your behavior when it comes to fluctuations because there are three types of risk profiling. Number one, you have to identify if you are the conservative type of investor. Number two, you need to know if you are the moderate type. Or number three, you are the aggressive type. Ako kasi, based on my profile, I am aggressive when it comes to investing my money. That means if I invested, let's say, 100,000, I'm really open for any losses that might happen to my 100,000. Kasi ganun ang profiling ko. Why it is being asked or why is it important? So that hindi mo pwedeng masisi yung bank because ikaw mismo nagsabi na ganito yung profile mo. And para at least may accountability ka rin on your end if something happens to your money. I know there are companies na talagang very adept on growing our money, but we have to be open to the idea na hindi palaging ganun ang situation because markets fluctuate or the market condition fluctuates. And last is you can put your money in trusted financial services firms. Napakarami. Hindi lang sa bangko, hindi lang sa mga trust companies, even insurance companies, they have this kind of services wherein they can provide you guaranteed returns. So, other way of growing your money. Okay? So, basically, these are some of my tips or some of my ideas that I could share with you to my fellow Mapuans because I know na sa school hindi naman to tinuturo because we are being taught on how to be great engineers, architects, or scientists in the future. But my purpose here is in the corporate arena or when you enter the real world, you need to save up for your future kasi nga we work hard because we want to reach something for ourselves in reaching for our dreams, and of course we need to have the right vehicle to get to our goals in life. Okay? So next slide. Ayan. So ito, just want to share with you the differences between saving and investing. Okay? So sa savings, it involves setting money aside in safe liquid accounts. So it also includes checking account, savings account, United States Treasury bills, and money market accounts. And of course, sa banks, it provides capital for investing. Actually, saving kasi or cash is the highest form of liquid investment. Kasi kapag may cash ka, madali lang talaga mag-withdraw because there are lots of ATMs talaga sa paligid lang natin. But when it comes to investing, we can increase our capital, and investing includes stocks, bonds, and real estate. And it also involves buying an asset in hopes of earning a return. Again, when it comes to investment, may return, merong minsan losses, but that is normal, especially when you look at the what do you call this, the stock performance or stock market in the Philippines. The market always fluctuates. Minsan mababa, minsan mataas, but normally when you invest, dapat uh, ang bandwidth mo malaki when it comes to your investment horizon. Kaya okay lang mag-invest kasi kung gagamitin mo naman to for future use, okay lang because meron tayong tinatawag na peso cost averaging wherein there will be more accumulations moving forward. Okay? So, ang tanong ko, do you want to save or do you want to invest? If you were to ask me, I would do both para mas diversified ang aking portfolio. Sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, di ba? Not all your money should be put or not all the eggs should be put in one basket. Dapat if you have numerous eggs, dapat ilagay mo sa iba't ibang basket para if may mangyari man sa isang basket, at least safe yung iba. Hindi sila mababasag or nothing bad will happen to them. Kaya dapat hiwa-hiwalay. Dapat kalat-kalat, dapat well-diversified para spread out ang risk. Okay? So next slide. So ayan. So before we proceed with the Q&A, so I think that actually ends my presentation. And again, thank you fellow Mapuans for giving me this opportunity to discuss this with you, the importance of saving up and investing. And hopefully, ngayon pa lang nakakapag-start na kayo ng makapagtabi for yourself to build your wealth din para may magamit din kayo in the future. And again, my name is Jaymie Ignacio from the number one insurance company, that is Sunlife of Canada, Philippines, under Millennium Dragon NBO. So thank you. So by the way, ayan. So you can visit us at www.jobs180.com/Sunlife Millennium Dragon. Ayan, yan po yung aming website for jobs180.com. Ayan, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for that, Sir Jamie. So, with that po, sir, we open the floor for questions. So, again, to those who will be watching this session, please send us
Yes,
your
sa
questions
Facebook.
via Facebook po. Ayan. So, sir, here's my question. Is
Okay,
it
go.
true that the younger you are, kahit hindi masyadong malaki yung allotted savings, basta nagsimula ka ng mas bata, you get more returns as opposed to when you start older tapos malaki na yung nilalagay mo. Parang mas marami pa rin nasi-save kung nagsimula ka if you started young and early.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, the uh, ako, I would say yes doon sa iyong question. Why? Kasi normally, the younger you are, the better because mas mahaba yung investment horizon mo. Sa totoo lang. As a financial advisor, I would normally encounter people na malapit na sila sa retirement years nila. So, it would really have an effect on them on, shelling out bigger amount of money, especially if they have specific retirement funds na gagamitin nila when they stop working. So, pag mas bata kasi, marami ka pang pwedeng makapture in terms of market performance. Kaya, ideal for me na yung mga bata, especially those who will be graduating soon, na may idea na sila para kapag nag-start na sila mag-work, nakakapagtabi na sila sa sarili nila. Tama yung sinasabi nila na yung kasabihan na daig ng maagap ang masipag. Totoo yon. Yung kasabihan na yon, may reason talaga yon. Kasi if you are late talaga or pinadelay mo yung pagtatabi or pagsisave sa sarili mo, malaki and baka hindi mo ma-attain yung goal na kailangan mo. Let's say, may mga clients ako before na they are at 55, 56, tapos they want to retire at age 65. Pero kapag ginagawa namin yung computation, let's say they want to retire, let's say at 5 million. So, client, I need to be honest with you, if you want to target that 5 million, ito dapat yung nagiging monthly payout mo. At least alam nila. At alam nilang, okay, so mahirap pala na agad-agad na masyado yung short term na. Unlike kapag nagsimula ka, ang raming tawag dito, time for your money to accumulate. Kasi importante talaga na the earlier the better. Para lahat ng taas at baba ng market captured ng pera mo. And at the same time, syempre lalo yung inflation, minsan nagfa-factor in pa yan. Ang inflation natin is, meaning yung inflation is yung pagtaas at pagtaas ng food and ng cost ng food and services. So at least kapag mas mahaba, mas maaga ka, mas bata ka, pati yun nafa-factor in terms of your money growth, parang ganun. Kaya again, fellow Mapuans, hanggat bata kayo, hanggat wala kayong other responsibility, hanggat hindi pa kayo kasal or di ba wala pa kayong ibang obligation, you start. Kasi ideal talaga mga bata pa. Okay. Okay lang ang matatanda na or may age na, yung mature na, pero they need to know na mas malaki yung kailangan nilang i-shell out. Sa totoo lang.
Thank you for that, sir. Next question po. If there is something you know now that you wish you can tell your 20-year-old self? What would
Mm.
it be? Kung meron kayong learning ngayon, sir, na inisip nyo, sana alam ko 20 ako. What would it be?
Okay. Oo, actually yung question na yan, it was asked to me when I was at around 25 or 26. Sabi ko, siguro nung college pa lang ako, ay mas naisip ko yung money side ng pwede kong maging work. Because when I was in college, syempre, ang always iniisip ko noon is I wanted to finish college on time. Okay? Para makapag-work. Pero hindi ko natanong yung sarili ko, makapag-work, then ano yung purpose ko? Sa totoo lang. Kasi ang mga Pinoy, palagi yan, o kailangan makagraduate ako to get my license para mas makapag-work ako agad. Pero hindi sila masyadong educated. Para saan? Ano yung purpose mo? Why you work? Ano ba yung goal mo? Kasi kung ako nung time ko, ang goal ko lang makagraduate, pero hindi ko naisip yung financial aspect ng gagawin ko. Siguro nung bata ako, dapat mas nag-explore pa ako on the uh, let's say doon sa economics on how to grow my money. Okay? Kasi we were only limited with knowledge on bank yun lang naman. So I did not explore more on how to grow my money not through banks only. So hindi ako mas naging ano nun, mas kumbaga naging limited lang ako to one option. Pero marami pala sa totoo lang. Kasi yung real world talaga, ma-encounter mo yan kapag nagwo-work ka na. So, I got exposed to various people na very knowledgeable on finances and investments. Kaya naging ano na rin ako, na-adapt ko na rin yung knowledge na yon until iniwan ko na nga yung engineering at nag-focus na ako sa pagiging financial advisor. So ang masasabi ko, don't limit yourself only doon sa kung ano yung meron kayo. Sa engineering, okay lang yan pagbutihin nyo. Pero you have to think of ways also, ano ba yung purpose mo after this? So ako, ang purpose ko, gusto kong maging okay yung finances ko and at the same time, ano ba yung pwede kong magawa when I start earning na. So, ganun. And marami pala siyang invested vehicles nung time ko na hindi ko alam na, Diyos ko, may mga trust funds pa pala. Meron pa palang mga ganitong bond funds, treasury bonds. So, kung alam ko lang yun, at least baka malaking-malaki na yung naipon ko, di ba? So, sayang. Pero okay lang yun. Ang purpose ko naman is matulungan yung mga soon-to-be graduates para at least sila mas makapagplano sila earlier at mas mabuti.
Ayan.
So,
So, thank
yun.
you for sharing your story, sir. I'm sure to everyone who's watching now and to those who will be watching this, rewatching
Yes.
this, ayan. So, may that be a reminder that you have to look back on what is your purpose. Not just earning
Mm-mm.
money or getting a job. Ayan. So, magandang deep dive yan, sir. Para sa mga gagraduate pa lang. Magandang
Yes.
wala yan. So to everyone, please don't forget the link. That's jobs180.com/Sunlife Millennium Dragon. So that's where you find openings or vacancies in Sir Jaymie's company. Ayan. Sir Jaymie on
Yes.
behalf of Mapua University, Malayan College, and all the rest of the Mapua associated schools, we thank you for being here today. And we look forward to inviting you again in other sessions with other universities.
Uh,
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you and Viva Mapua.
Thank you, Sir Jaymie. Have a restful weekend po. Ayan. So to everyone, we will be releasing digital certificates and evaluation links. So the evaluation link will be in the comment section, and the digital certificates will be there as well. So you can get your certificates through bit.ly/jobs180 certificate. Ayan. So thank you everyone, and if you have questions, just shoot us a message on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/jobs180. So thank you all, and we look forward to the next session of the employability series come April. So thank you everyone, and have a restful weekend. Thank you. Thank you.